A myth explains that when blood seeps into a sword, it can trap a soul, turning its owner into an immortal goblin. Only his destined bride can pull the sword from his chest and end his cursed existence. A mysterious old woman shares this tale with a young shopper, warning that the gods are cruel and selfish. She urges the woman to pray sincerely if ever faced with life or death. In 1968, Paris, Kim Shin uses supernatural foresight to intervene in a boy's life, saving him from domestic violence. He predicts events before they happen, revealing his powers and cryptic wisdom. In Goryeo-era Korea, General Kim Shin is a legendary warrior feared and praised on the battlefield. His unmatched strength and bravery earn him the title God of War. Despite his military success, Kim Shin is declared a traitor by the young king, manipulated by a jealous eunuch. His army is massacred, and he is forced to watch his men executed. The queen urges him to face the king, even as she's killed before his eyes. Betrayed and devastated, Shin keeps walking forward towards the young king. Shin is struck down by a guard to his knees. His loyal friend in battle is asked by Kim Shin to kill him with his own sword for honor. His friend does and is struck down too. Shin dies with a sword in his chest, unclaimed and left for animals. In present-day Seoul, a man in black, the Grim Reaper, is hit by a car without injury, revealing his supernatural nature. He retrieves a woman's soul and takes her to a tea room between life and death. Shin returns to Korea after 20 years and is welcomed by Deok-hwa, a spoiled descendant of his old servant family. Deok-hwa's attitude contrasts sharply with his grandfather's reverence for Shin. A flashback shows a boy at Shin's grave, inheriting the duty to serve him as his grandfather dies. Shin is resurrected by divine decree, marked by the sword still lodged in his chest. His punishment is to live forever, watching everyone he loves die until his bride pulls the sword. Revived by divine will, Shin returns to confront his enemies, killing the eunuch who orchestrated his downfall. He walks into the royal funeral resting room and sees he is too late, intensifying his guilt and grief. He finds the grandson of his former servant and takes him in, beginning his lonely, immortal journey. The boy pledges to serve him, continuing a family legacy of loyalty. On a ship, Shin tries to care for the boy, but is attacked by cruel sailors who attempt to sell them. In divine fury, he unleashes a storm and sinks the ship, punishing them for their inhumanity. A pregnant woman is hit by a car and pleads for her baby's life, not her own. Shin, moved by her sincerity, revives her with blue magic energy. The Grim Reaper arrives too late to claim her soul and realizes something has interfered with fate. He checks his records and finds a missing death. Both mother and unborn child should have died. The woman gives birth to a daughter, Ji-untak, while ghosts gather, whispering she is the goblin's bride. Her birth is shrouded in mystery and divine significance. On her 9th birthday, Untak talks to her mother's ghost and realizes her mom has just died. Her mother gives final advice and fades away, leaving her daughter alone. Untak lives with her abusive aunt and cousins, who treat her like a servant and are after her dead mother's insurance money. Despite the mistreatment, she remains resilient. A ghost confronts Untak and calls her the goblin's bride, but flees in fear when Shin appears nearby. Shin passes Untak on the street, and they share a long, strange glance. Shin prepares to leave Korea again for another 20-year disappearance and thanks his old servant for years of loyalty. Deok-hwa learns he'll inherit the responsibility, much to Shin's concern. Untak makes a desperate birthday wish by the sea for a job, freedom from her aunt, and a boyfriend. Her wish echoes across space and time, summoning Shin to her location. Confused by his appearance, Untak assumes he's a ghost and lectures him to pass on to the afterlife. Shin is bewildered and intrigued by her ability to summon him. When asked about the flowers he's holding, he tells her they're buckwheat flowers, which symbolize lovers. She's surprised that he heard her wish and tries to learn more about who or what he is. Back home, Shin discovers the Grim Reaper has moved into his house, thanks to a shady rental deal by Deok-hwa. They immediately clash and exchange magical pettiness over dinner. Untak fails multiple job interviews and grumbles about Shin's inaccurate wish fulfillment. When she prevents a fire and Shin appears again, she realizes he's connected to her. She begins experimenting, testing her theory by lighting and blowing out candles, successfully summoning Shin at will. He's annoyed and confused by the strange connection. After she touches his arm and it glows with blue heat, she grows more convinced he's something beyond human. He insists she stop calling him randomly, but reluctantly answers her questions. She confesses she thinks he's a goblin and shows him the birthmark that ghosts associate with the goblin's bride. He remains skeptical and challenges her to prove it by describing his true form. When she fails, he declares she isn't the bride and dismisses her importance. Hurt, Untak calls him cruel and chases after him, only to find herself magically transported to Canada. Shin is stunned she used his door portal, which should be inaccessible to humans. Untak, amazed by his power, smiles brightly and says, "I'll marry you. I think you're a goblin. I love you."